Greetings, welcome back to the next video in the remote connection to your Raspberry Pi or Linux machine. Again, videos are mostly designed for the Raspberry Pi, but you should be able to use this for most systems that run what the Raspberry Pi does. So to get started, you'll see I'm already in Visual Studio Code. I did have to type in my password right away to get me connected to the server, but you can see I am now connected to this, and this is the admin folder. We should get connected to the web one after this, but let's go ahead and start running some of the commands that we need to. And you can do an easy Google search. I mean, AI will probably pop up with the 5 steps or so steps for you to kind of get this at least started. So this should get it all started. Now, you'll probably see a bunch of jump cuts because some of this will take a while for Raspberry Pi to do. So you might just see something, then poof, it'll be done. That's obviously not how it works, but let's go ahead and get started. You'll run most of these commands as sudo apt and then update. This just updates where it's looking. You can see where it's looking to find all the pieces to make sure it's still there and to check to see if anything needs to be updated. So again, we'll go ahead and let that take its course, and then we'll come back. Alright, so it went ahead and finished that. Oh, we can see the stuff down here. I'll pull up a little bit better for you. So if you hit the up arrow, it'll automatically let you loop through, and I only have one, so there's not a lot of loop through, but the more commands you have, you hit the up arrow and down arrow, it'll kind of let you loop through those. Our next command is upgrade, which actually does the update. So you can update, you can see kind of searches for stuff, see what needs to be updated. Upgrade will then go ahead and give you upgrade. This one's the one that's going to take a while. So again, you can probably saw a little bit of this, and then it kind of jumped to being done. This one's going to take a lot longer as it does that. But then we'll actually start to install everything else that we need. So here's the upgrade. Oh, yeah, and then you're going to need to, it has an uppercase Y. You can just click enter, or you can type in Y to work it. I'm just going to click enter. Alright, so it's finally done. Of course, probably went a lot quicker for you. It was about 10 minutes for me, but I cut it. You can see everything that it went through. Now there was a point here, and I'm going to film this, but it did ask me a question. It said the default was N, so I just clicked enter and it kept going. So again, do pay attention as it's going through. But you can see it sets up, it does configs, installs, prepares and unpacks them, and then you can see at the top it gets them. Still, this is all the stuff it just went through. It gets all the pieces you need. So we're not going to go through all of that, but you can see what it does when it actually updates the whole entire machine. Now we are back to this, which now we can install Apache, which is what's going to actually run the web server, and then some pieces that allow it to actually do PHP, which we'll use later, and then the database. So it's called LAMP, Linux, Apache, which we're installing now, MySQL and PHP. Now we're not quite going in that order, but that's fine. So I already copied this, but this is just doing the sudo apt install. That's the command to install a program, and then you just type the name that you want. And you'll see it zip down a little bit. It's got to find it, make sure it has everything. That's why we did this update, so it should have everything it needs. It tells you what it's going to do to update it, and then again, the Y is already, so I'm just going to hit enter. It's already uppercase. Don't need to actually type Y. And then you see how much it's going to take. So not a lot. These should go a little bit faster. They install, or they're downloading the pieces now. Now they're actually going through and doing the unpacking and then installing. You can see this goes a lot quicker for this. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight the next command while we're waiting on that. So now it's doing the configuration pieces of this. Now what's nice is we can actually, when this one is done, start to see some of the products of this. Is start actually having the folders and files and stuff that we're talking about with this. But I'm going to go ahead and install the next one because we want to see it as well. So this is install. PHP and then the Apache mod for PHP so that it can actually find it, right? So enter. And again, it's going to find it. It's going to figure out what it needs to do. And then we just click enter. And then it downloads it. And it'll go through and install it. Now we're not going to go ahead and watch the next one I'm copying right now. It recommends that we do the MariaDB as opposed to MySQL because it works better with Raspberry Pi. Although mostly what we're going to use and what we just installed right now should actually allow us to do this is the SQLite. All right, so for a lot of this, just to kind of get used to it, so we're not, I mean, it's not a database class. We'll be using SQLite to do most of our database needs. But we'll go ahead and install it because, and we'll go over some of the aspects, and you might use it in a different database class. Because if you're actually learning databases, you're probably not going to use SQLite. But again, this is a web install, so we just want to kind of get those pieces there as we're working. And again, we're not going to watch the next install. We just did these two. But there's my paste, install, and that database, enter. So while that's doing, let's go ahead and see if we can add a new, oh, that just added a folder to it. But we want to go ahead and actually grab the More Explorer. All right, so let's see, new window, we want to connect to the window. We want to actually open a folder. There we go. Let's see if this will work. Oh yeah, this is where we got to pay attention to stuff. It's gonna want you won't just finish for yourself. So we're going to click enter real quick. Open a folder, and now let's double check. I always forget where they put all this stuff. It used to be in var, so okay. Yeah, you can see all the stuff happening by, so it's not a big thing for me to find it. Oh. And there's WW. Alright, so you can see we have the var. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump into HTML as well. But if you wanted to, be able to access it, in this case I want access to the least amount I need, and pretty much everything that goes in HTML is what you see on the web page. So we'll click OK. And now we have a whole other thing that's going to pop up over here, and it's asking for our password again. Make sure to pay attention for that. It's already got me a couple of times. And yes, I trust them because I just installed it. And as you can see, there is an index file in there, and that is all. So I'm going to minimize this one real quick to show you a couple things. One, here is that web page. Now you see it's not working because I ran this before we even started it, but that is the IP address, and this is what we get. This is the whole point of all of this is now this web page is running on that Raspberry Pi that I just created, or configured, I guess. Someone else created it, but you can see there it is, right? There is my first piece right there. So let's go ahead and see if we can get to all of the stuff. All right, so what you saw was done. The terminal. Yeah, okay. So this is the terminal. But the database is done. That's all I'm saying. We kind of split out real quick. You saw that it was done, but here we are. All right. So, but now it's just like this is a local file. And I don't need the terminal right now. So all that web page that you just saw, this right here, is this right here. And if you don't believe me, let's just go ahead and delete. There we go, the body. Too far down to the body. and good old trusty hello world. And then I'll leave the style tag there, but let's go ahead and delete all the style in it. Alright, Control S. And this is something that we're going to work on later. Right here is something that we need to fix. And this is going to be a thing for another day, right? So right now we do not have permission to do this inside of the HTML folder. All right, we do not have access to this. So again, there'll be another video on that. But if this worked, right? If this worked when we went over to this, all we would see is hello world, a very blank page right there, because that's all we have is hello world. But you can see how easy it is, right? So once we get the configuration, again, that'll be another video. But now we have the connection. So we've made our Visual Studio Code connection in the first video, and now in this video we've set up the Raspberry Pi to have the lamp so we can actually create a web page as well. So with that, that's all I have for this video. Just wanted to kind of put it together so we can remotely access a Raspberry Pi or Linux machine using Visual Studio Code.